The Office of Sponsored Programs here at West Virginia University would like to introduce to the research community a new series of instructional videos. The purpose of this video is to provide a general administrative structure and guidance in fulfilling the WU and WU Research Corporation's obligations related to the negotiation of awards for sponsored research. It is important to note that the University and the Research Corporation are committed to complying with all sponsor administrative requirements and conditions established for the responsible management of extramural funding provided in support of research, training, and related activities. Our office would like to stress to the research community that while reviewing this video, that this discussion is intended for educational purposes only and is not intended for legal advice. It does not replace professional judgment. Each situation is unique and the associated risk should be assessed according to the individual circumstances. The Award Negotiation Unit will negotiate the terms and conditions of the sponsored agreement. The time required to negotiate the agreement depends on a number of factors. As a general rule, negotiating contract with private industry takes more time than grants from the federal government. Our office is the only office authorized to conduct negotiation, and under no circumstance should the PI sign the sponsored agreement or give the impression that they are negotiating on behalf of the university or research corporation. The proposal submitted by the PI to a sponsoring agency through the Office of Sponsored Programs is an offer to complete a research project. The proposal will contain the following: time needed, also known as a period of performance, the total cost of conducting the research, which is outlined in a budget and given greater detail in a budget narrative, and what will be accomplished, or statement of work by the PI and other collaborators. An award as the acceptance of the proposal by the sponsor. Please realize the award is made to the university or the research corporation, not the PI. What is an award? It is a legal instrument through which an external sponsor purchases research services, training services, and or other services from the university. An award can be called many things: a contract, a cooperative agreement, or a grant. The form of the award is usually based on what type of sponsor is providing the funding. Our office director is the authorized official for both the university, which is an agency of the state of West Virginia, and the West Virginia Research Corporation, which is a private 501c3 corporation authorized by state legislature and under agreement by the Board of Trustees of the West Virginia University to act as a legal agent of the university in applying for and administrating grants and contracts for West Virginia University. There are two types of awards that are negotiated by the Award Negotiation Unit. The first is a fixed price agreement, which provides scheduled payments of a fixed amount based on a specific date or achievement of a deliverable. Accountability is primarily based on performance and results. The second type of agreement is a cost reimbursable agreement, which provides a monthly or quarterly invoices based on costs actually expended and cannot exceed the amount of the award. Accountability for this type of agreement is based primarily on technical progress, financial accounting, and fiscal reporting. Our office would like to take the time to introduce our standard list of preferred terms in sponsored research agreements that our award negotiation unit utilizes during negotiations. First is the term acknowledgement, and it is the ability to acknowledge the existence of the sponsored project or agreement through our standard reporting practices. This information is very general in nature and contains a project title, sponsor name, period of performance, principal investigators' names, department, college, and the potential dollar amount. The next term is confidentiality. The confidentiality term makes clear what information the parties agree not to disclose. Parties to an agreement may wish to maintain a confidentiality of certain information. As an educational institution, the university generally seeks to create and share knowledge. WU seeks to maintain ownership of or the right to use data that is created as a result of a sponsored research project. The preferred term is stated as follows: data resulting from the performance of this agreement shall belong to the contractor. Contractor grants the university and the University Research Corporation a royalty-free, non-exclusive, perpetual license to use the data for non-commercial, educational, and research purposes and for purposes of publication. If a research agreement grants the sponsor a pre-approval right over publications or grants the sponsor a right to pre-publication review for matters other than the inclusion of patent and or proprietary information, then the project must be reviewed for compliance with the export control regulations. In addition to publication restrictions, each agreement is reviewed for other terms and conditions containing references to the U.S. export control regulations, such as prohibiting access by non-U.S. citizens to a project information or allowing the sponsor to claim resulting research information as proprietary or trade secrets to determine if the project needs to be reviewed for export control compliance. You can learn more about the Export Control Office by visiting their website provided at the bottom of this slide. The Attorney General for the state of West Virginia is of the opinion that all state agencies entering into a contract must assure that the agreement is governed by the laws of West Virginia. The preferred term is the agreement has been made under and shall be construed and interpreted in accordance to the laws of the state of West Virginia. Intellectual property terms establish which party owns IP that may be developed as a result of the sponsored research project. WVU generally has a preference to either own or jointly own new IP that is created. However, in some instances, these rights are given up. The preferred term is as follows: that all right, title, and interest to all industrial property and intellectual property, including but not limited to inventions, improvements, discoveries, patentable materials, copyrightable materials, trademarks, trade secrets, technology, machinery, hardware, software, know-how, methods, data, documents, materials, tests, and other intellectual or industrial property and improvements thereto, which are conceived and or made by one or more employees, agents, contractors, or students of the university or research corporation, and the performance of the agreement shall be owned by the university. Research agreements often contain insurance terms which state that the coverage provided by both the university and sponsor. The university purchased general liability insurance from the West Virginia Board of Risk Insurance. The preferred term is institution shall carry and maintain comprehensive general liability insurance and professional liability insurance with limits up to $1 million per occurrence with no aggregate limit. Most research agreements contain a liability term which addresses the responsibility between the university and a sponsor of research. WVU is precluded by state law from entering into a contract of indemnity. The preferred term which is used by our office is that WVU will be responsible for any and all claims, demands, judgments, liabilities, losses, damages, costs, expenses, or other amounts resulting from claims solely to the extent attributable by any negligent or wrongful act or omission or willful malfeasance of West Virginia University. The preferred term for publication is that the institution shall have the right to publish or disclose the results arising from this project, subject to the provisions of confidentiality, provided, however, that the text of any such publication is first submitted to the sponsor for review and comment at least 30 days prior to submission for publication or other disclosure. It is important to note that institutions of higher education usually do not give up the right to publish freely. Please use the following checklist to assist you in better understanding the process. To learn more about the clinical trial review process at OSP, please click on the link to the clinical trial review process. If you have any questions or issues, please feel free to contact the Office of Sponsored Programs Award Negotiation Unit.